Hello, I'm Senator Jerry Moran from Kansas, and I'm honored to be giving this week's Western Caucus Weekly Address. During this holiday season, I'm reminded how blessed I am to live in a rural state where family values and community traditions run deep. No tradition is more important than passing on from one generation to the next the traditions of working on a family farm. However, these rural traditions are under attack in Washington, D.C. In September, the U.S. Department of Labor proposed a new rule that would ban youth under the age of 16 from participating in many common farm-related tasks, like rounding up cattle on horseback, operating a tractor, or cleaning out stalls with a shovel and a wheelbarrow. To most young Kansans growing up on a farm, these jobs are just part of their daily routine. According to the American Farm Bureau Federation, about 98% of our country's 2 million farms are family-owned. By working alongside their parents, grandparents, and neighbors, young people learn important life skills and values, things like hard work and personal responsibility and perseverance. They learn how to solve problems and to work as a team to get things done. Agriculture is a way of life, and now the federal government wants to change that way of life. Until recently, families whose farms were jointly owned were given the discretion over the responsibilities they gave their children on their farm. But this new rule would do away with that freedom. The government is proposing to tell farmers and ranchers, we know what's best for your children and what they should and should not be doing. The Department of Labor is also trying to do away with successful farm safety training and certification programs. Organizations like 4-H and FFA play a critical role in training and certifying young people to safely carry out farm activities. But the Department of Labor has ignored the research that shows the success of such programs and instead criticizes these safety programs for being too locally driven and lacking federal direction. One would assume those are good things, and one would assume that before making such dramatic changes to farm labor rules, the department would identify reliable evidence and data that shows the need for these changes. But it's the opposite. In fact, the Department of Labor admits it lacks the data to justify many of its suggested changes. Furthermore, according to the National Farm Medicine Center, youth-related injuries from farm accidents have declined by nearly 60% from 1998 to 2009. Ask a farmer or rancher about the importance of safety, and they would tell you that safety is one of their top concerns. But they also would tell you that it's critical to the rural way of life, the training of the next generation to safely and successfully operate their family's business. If today's young people are not given the chance to learn at a young age what it takes to manage a farm, we put the risk of the future of agriculture in our nation. If these changes go into effect, not only will there be a shrinking rural workforce, and our nation's youth will be deprived of valuable career training opportunities, but most importantly, a way of life begins to disappear. Our country cannot afford to lose the next generation of farmers and ranchers. I shared this concern with the Secretary of Labor several weeks ago, along with the concerns of many Kansas farmers and ranchers. For those of you watching who also share these concerns, I urge you to call your senators and representatives and let them know that these proposed rules go way too far. Parents and communities should be allowed to look after the best interests of their families and citizens. And local experts should be the ones conducting safety training programs to educate our nation's young people. The future of agriculture depends on stopping this vast overreach of executive authority and protecting our individual rights. We know that rural America's values are not Washington's values. We need your help to preserve those values and to protect rural America's most valued assets for the next generation of American farmers and ranchers.